Hi, Prabhu here. Today we will see about creative course project of how to model and texture the used eraser in Maya 2017 using Arnold render engine. The final output is look like this. I hope you like it. Stay tuned. Before that, if you won't subscribe to this YouTube channel, click on this red color subscribe button to subscribe this YouTube channel. We post weekly 3 videos about Maya 2017, Arnold, modeling, texturing and lighting. So if you won't subscribe, click this red color subscribe button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, before we get into the actual project, you need to set the project folder. It's really important because we are not only do modeling, after that we want to texture and light our scene. So go to file and choose project window and choose a new project. So I will choose my location as D drive. You choose wherever you want. I will set my project name as use underscore eraser and click accept. So now go to create polygon primitives and check this interactive creation. That means when we click on polycube, it will automatically create it in center of grid. Press R and scale little bit big and scale in Z and scale little bit in Y and scale in X. So like this. So I want to add one more edge loop over here. Go to insert edge loop. You need to add over here. So right click and choose face mode. So I will select this face and press delete in keyboard. So you need to select this edge. So you need to select all this corner edge. So don't select this edge loop and backside. Shift right click and choose bevel edge. So I want to give fraction to 0.3 and segments to 4. Right click and choose vertex. So select this corner vertex and press R and scale in mid to make little bit big. Now go to front view, press 4 in keyboard and press W. I want to move in X to make it straight and also in Y to make it straight. So like this. So now go to right side view. You need to move in Z to make it straight. Now go to perspective view and press 5 in keyboard. Right click and choose object mode. So now it's look like this corner will be erased. So I want to add little bit. I want to scale this corner a little bit. So select this vertex, press R and scale little bit big. Now go to front view and press 4 in keyboard. Press W. I want to move in X to make this line as straight and also in Y. Go to right side view. I want to make it straight in Z. Now go to perspective view. Now press 5 in keyboard, right click and choose object mode. Okay, but I want to add little more creative for this object. So using cylinder, go to create panel, polygon primitives, disable the interactive creation. When we click on poly cylinder, it will automatically create it in center of grid. I want to move in Z and press E, rotate Z to -90. And press W. I want to move over here. So press E and rotate Y to -45 and press W. I want to move over here. Press R and scale small and press W. I want to move over here. So I want to change my pivot. So select this object, double click on this Move to settings. Here axis orientation, normally it's set to old. I want to set to object. Click on here and choose object and close the settings. So now you're able to move along this object. So you also press R. You also change this pivot to object direction. So double click on the scale tool. It normally set to old axis. I want to change to object mode. Close the settings. So now scale down. I want to move this object close to here. So you need to add to this corner. So go to shading and choose wireframe on shader. That means you're able to see our object wireframe. So like this, press R and scale down. Scale really small and press W. I want to move in Z. So like this. So now right click and choose the vertex. So select the front vertex and shift select the back vertex. Press Ctrl F11 in keyboard. So that means the vertex will be converted as a face. Shift right click and choose extrude face. You need to extrude in Z and move in X. Click on the scale button. You want to scale down and shift right click and choose extrude face. You need to extrude in Z and click on the scale button and scale down and press W. I want to move this in Z like this. Right click and choose object mode. Double click on the sage and shift to double click on the sage. Press R and scale a little bit down. Right click and choose object mode. So this is our eraser dust. So press 3 in keyboard. So this is our eraser dust. I want to scale a little bit down and scale a little bit in Y like this and press E and rotate like this and press R and scale down. So now go to shading and choose wireframe on shader. So now it looks great. So now I want to rename my object. Go to window and choose outliner. So select this polycube. So this is an eraser 01. So this is an eraser dust. So ERASER underscore dust 01. So I will close my outliner. So select this both object. Go to front view and press W. I want to move in Y. So see here, sometimes it will go wrong. So see here. So I will select my both object. Go to edit, delete by type and choose history. So now you need to move in Y. So see here, it will happen like this. So I will select this both object and press Ctrl G to group. Now I want to move in Y. So you need to move this object above the grid. Now go to perspective view. Okay, now it's perfect. So select this eraser, go to mesh display and choose soften edge. So like this. So now we need to make an wrap path. So go to polygons and click on polycube. It will automatically create it in center of grid. Press R and scale big. Go to front view and press 4 in keyboard. I want to move in Y and press R and scale in Y and scale in X. So like this and press R and scale in Y and scale X. So now go to perspective and press 5 in keyboard. I want to scale like this, and press W. I want to move like this. So right click and choose face mode. So select this front face and shift select this back face and press delete in keyboard. Right click and choose edge. So select this 4 edge on this corner and shift right click and choose bevel edge. So I want to reduce my fraction amount to 0.2 and give segments to 3 or 4. So in this case I will give 4. Right click and choose object mode. When the object selected, click on this isolate select button. So that means you will able to see our object separate. So shift right click and choose extrude in Z. Make little bit thickness for this object. Right click and choose object mode. So I will re-isolate my object. So select all the object, go to front view, go to window and choose outliner. I want to rename this object. So select this object, right click and choose vertex. So I want to select this vertex and press W. I want to move a little bit like this and select this vertex and move in X. So like this. So I will select this Q and rename as wrapper 01. So I want to move this object to this group. So middle mouse click and drag to this group. So that means our object will be go inside of this group. So I want to rename this group as eraser underscore GRP 01 like this. When the eraser group selected, I want to move in Y. So select this one and right click and choose vertex. So I will select this vertex, move in Y like this. Now go to perspective, right click and choose object mode. So now we need to add an ground plane. So I will close my outliner, click on polyplane and press R and scale big like this. So I want to give an subdivision axis to 1. So I didn't want any subdivision for this polyplane. So I will scale big. I want to rename this object. Go to window and choose outliner. So this is a ground plane GROUND 01. So now we complete our model. Now we need to start our texturing. Texturing is really important whenever you working on used object. Texture is the part of the major role in this project. So you need to unwrap this object. So I will select my eraser, click on this isolate select. So listen carefully. So the texturing is little bit different. So I will select this object, go to top view. When the object selected, go to UV and choose planar option box. Here I want to choose bounding box, camera and choose keep image width and height ratio on. So unclick project, right click and choose object mode. Go to perspective, right click and choose edge. So select, listen carefully, don't select this corner edge. So you need to select this edge, shift select this to edge and shift double click on this edge and shift double click on this edge. Over here don't select this to corner edge. If you cut this area, if you texture here, it will be shown clearly, you will be texture that. So don't select this to edge. Now shift double click on this edge. So you need to select this corner edge and also here and also here. So go to UV and choose UV editor. So I will zoom out. So here you need to click on this one, separate the UV along the selected edge. Sometimes it will be hide over here, so expand this one and click on this, separate the UV along the selected edge. So right click and choose UV, so select all the UV, shift right click and choose unfold. So now it unfold like this, press E and rotate like this, make it straight, and press W. I want to move over here, so don't bother about this area. So I will select this one and press E and rotate like this, and press W, move over here. So select all the UV over here, shift right click and choose unfold. So it will be little bit cross because we did not cut this edge over here, but in this project you don't select this two edge, otherwise it will show up, you will be texture in manual. So I keep it default. So I will select this UV and press R and scale a little bit big. I will move over here. So now right click and choose object mode. So click on this isolate select button again. So now I want to select this eraser dust. So click on isolate select, go to front view. When the object selected, go to UV and choose planar option box. Here I want to choose same thing and click project. Right click and choose object mode, go to perspective. So in the object selected, press 1 in keyboard, so that means it will be in normal mode. Right click and double click on this edge and shift double click on this edge. So you need to select the front and back edge, so like this, see here, and also you need to select this back side edge over here. So you need to select all the edge on back side and front side and also bottom side, and click on this, separate the UV along the selected edge. So right click and choose UV. So select this UV, control right click and choose to shell, press W. I want to move on this side, shift right click and choose unfold, so it will be unfold perfect. Press E and rotate like this, and press W. I want to move over here, so select this one, shift right click and choose unfold and press W. I want to move in here, so select this one, shift right click and choose unfold, move over here. So select all the UV and press R and scale really small and press W. I will keep over here. So click on this isolate select again. So when the UV mode on, so shift select this object also. So that means you will able to see the both UV. So now right click and choose UV. So select all the UV and go to polygons and choose UV snapshot. So I will browse over here. So in images folder I will save as eraser underscore UV. So and click on save and choose 1024 pixels and view color value as red, image format to PNG and click OK. So after you take UV snapshot, open your Photoshop. Okay, open your UV file, go to file and choose open. So in this case, in my D drive, in images, so use the eraser images, I will open my saved UV file. So when the layer 0 selected, click on this lock button. So that means when you take move tool, you cannot move this wireframe. So select the layer 0, create new layer, click on this one, so that means it will create new layer when the layer 1 selected, you need to drag this layer all the way to down. So when the layer 1 selected, take an paint bucket tool and choose an pure white color. So that means you need to choose this corner and click OK. So click on here. So that means you're able to see our wireframe clearly. Select the layer 1 and click on lock button. So that means you cannot move this layer 1. So select the layer 1 and create new layer. So when the layer 2 selected, take an polygonal lasso tool and choose a new selection and feather to 0 pixels. So and choose a new selection. So you need to draw and rough shape. So not be exact. So you need to draw and rough shape like this. So I also add over here. So when the polygonal lasso tool selected, click on this add to selection button. So need to add this one also. So like this. So when the layer 2 selected, choose an little bit of gray color. So don't choose pure white. If you choose pure white, when we place lighting in Maya, so it will be bleach. So I will use little bit of gray. So in this case, 10% of gray and click OK. Take a paint bucket and fill over here. Now press Ctrl D to deselect. To create new layer, so that means it will create layer 3. Take an brush tool. So see here, it will shows our brush size. Sometimes it will only shows our brush size because check your keyboard. If your caps lock is on, it will only shows the brush size. So turn off this caps lock to show our brush size. If you want to increase or decrease the brush size, use parenthesis button. So it will be nearby the P key. So if you press open parenthesis, the brush size will be reduced. If you press close parenthesis, the brush size will be increased. So I will reduce my brush size using open parenthesis. Give opacity to 10% for this brush and choose an 70 to 80% black and press Ctrl plus in keyboard. So that means it will zoom in. So I will drag like this. I want to paint in this corner. I want to reduce my brush size using parenthesis. So I will draw like this. So don't draw in this corner. So in this edge, you need to draw exactly inside of our UV for this corner. If you draw over here, it will be clearly shown in our Maya. You will be make it in UV. So I want to draw exactly inside. So I will hide my layer 0. So that means you're able to see our texture clearly. So I will draw like this. So now I will take my eraser tool and increase the brush size using parenthesis and give opacity to 20%. So I will erase this corner because I want to blend with my original color. So I want to erase these corners. So now it looks great. Turn on this layer. So I will use brush tool to draw like this. So turn on this layer 0. So now you're able to see our brush clearly. So now I want to take my eraser. So I will erase a little bit in this corner. So like this. Now I turn on my wireframe. So I will go over here. So here I want to draw and brush shape. Take a brush tool and choose opacity to 10%. So I will increase my brush size. So and draw over here. Like this. I will turn off this layer 0. So now you're able to see it clearly. So take an eraser tool and erase this corner to blend with our original color. So like this. So now turn on this wireframe. So now it's perfect. I want to turn off this wireframe. So now you need to save as two files. One thing is Photoshop, another thing is Targa file. So the Photoshop file is mainly used for your future editing purpose. So I will go to file and choose save as in your images folder as a Photoshop file. So as eraser underscore color as a Photoshop file. Now you need to save as Targa file. So before that you definitely want to turn off this wireframe. So go to file and choose save as Targa. In your source images, I will choose my file name as eraser underscore color.tga as a Targa file and click save and choose 24 bit per pixel and click OK. So open your Maya, right click and choose object mode. So I will close my UV editor for now. So I will select this both object, right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So go to AI standard 1. So I want to rename this object as eraser underscore AI standard 1. So click on this color checker and go to file and choose filter type to off. In this image name, click on this folder. So choose eraser underscore color.tga and click open. So it will be open. So sometimes it will not show over here. Press 6 in keyboard. So that means it will shows our texture mode. So now you see clearly. So it will be looks more real because it's look like I used the eraser. So select this object and press 3 in keyboard to smooth this eraser dust. You need to press 3 to smooth our object. So now it looks great. So now we need to unwrap this one. In the object selected, click on this isolate select, go to top view. So go to UV and choose planar option box. Here you need to choose same settings and click project. Right click and choose object mode. Go to perspective view. So open your UV editor. So here double click on this edge and shift double click on this back edge. So click on this separate UV along the selected edge. So now go to front side, right click and choose UV. Select this inside UV, don't select top one, select this inside UV. Control right click and choose to shell. So and press W. I want to move in X, so that means it will separate as 2. So double click on this edge, so that means it will select this entire loop. Click on this, separate the UV along the selected edge. So right click and choose to UV mode. So select all the UV over here. Shift right click and choose unfold. So it will be unfold perfect. Press R in keyboard and scale down. You want to keep this UV exactly inside of this white region. So like this. And select this UV, shift right click and choose unfold and press E and rotate like this and press W. I want to move this one over here. So don't keep outside, so you need to keep all the UV exactly inside of this white region, otherwise it won't take UV snapshot. So it will be placed perfect. So I want to select my top face. So this is our top face. Now right click and choose UV. So select all the UV, go to polygons and choose UV snapshot. So in same destination folder, so this is the wrapper UV. So I will use wrapper underscore UV and click save. So same 1024 pixels, keep image height and ratio on. give UV color as red and choose format as PNG and click OK. So now open your Photoshop. So I will close my previous file, go to file and choose open, go to your source, same images folder, select the wrapper UV and click open. And the layer 0 selected, click on this lock button. So that means you cannot move this wireframe. So select this layer 0, click on create new layer. So drag this layer all the way to down. So when the layer 1 selected, take and paint bucket tool and choose pure white. So that means you need to choose this corner and click on here to fill. When the layer 1 selected, click on this lock button. So take an polygonal lasso tool and choose new selection, feather to 0 pixels. When the layer 1 selected, create a new layer. So that means it will create layer 2. Take an polygonal lasso tool, new selection and feather to 0 pixels. Here you need to draw and rough selection. So like this. So take and paint bucket tool and choose an 50% of gray and fill over here. Press Ctrl D to deselect. When the layer 2 selected, go to file and choose noise and choose add noise. So I will zoom my file a little bit using Ctrl plus. So now you able to see here noise. So I will add amount to 10%, use as an Gaussian and click OK. So now I want to create new layer. So that means the layer will be create above the layer 2. Take an polygonal lasso tool and choose feather to 0 pixels as a new selection. Draw and rough selection over here. So take and paint bucket tool and choose so in this case I will choose an dark blue. Fill over here. Press Ctrl D to deselect. Double click on this layer 3. So I will undo this one. So I will add little bit of this blue. So like this, I fill over here. Press Ctrl D to deselect. So double click on this layer 3. Don't double click over here. So you need to click on this empty space. So that means it will open our layer style. Here you need to choose an pattern overlay to tick this one. So sometimes the option will not be came. So you see here our selection will be over here. So you need to click on here. So that means it will shows our pattern overlay option. So here you need to choose an fourth one. So fine gray. So and give scale to 30% and give blending mode to overlay. So and click OK. So that means when I zoom in, so you will able to see some noise on this color. So now I want to type my text. Take an horizontal type tool and choose an pure white. So click on here. So that means it will automatically create layer for us. So here I need to type my name as cleaner. So don't use any company name because I already did bourbon advertising concept. So I already upload in my YouTube channel. So the bourbon advertising company will be block my video. So don't use any company name when you upload any work on YouTube or any internet sites. So it will be blocked. So I will use my name as cleaner. So I will reduce my text size and press Ctrl T and right click and choose rotate 90 degree CCW. So over here. So and create another text. So and rename as dust pure. So neat and clean. So I will reduce my text size. So double click on this T and click and drag on this T. So that means it will reduce our text size. So I will press Ctrl T to transform. Right click and choose rotate 90 degrees CCW and press enter. So I will place over here, so exactly in center. So I want some barcode over here, so I will already download in my internet. So see here, I will preview this file. So barcode, so just Google it as barcode and download this one. So I will open in my Photoshop. I take my move tool, I drag and drop over here. So I will drag and drop over here. Or I will take and duplicate layer, double click on this layer, so I will press Ctrl A, Ctrl C, I will press Ctrl V to paste over here, press Ctrl T to transform and scale down. So press Ctrl T and scale down. I will place my barcode over here, right click and choose 90, rotate 90 degrees CCW. So I will place my barcode over here. So that's it. Now I hide my layer 0 and go to file and choose save. So you need to save as 2 files. First thing is Photoshop file. So for your future editing purpose, so go to file and choose save. In images folder, so wrapper underscores color CLR and save as Photoshop file, and go to file and choose save as a Torgo file in your source images, wrapper underscore color.tga as a 24 bit per pixel and click OK. So now open your Maya, right click and choose object mode. When the object selected, right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So I will close my UV editor for now. So I want to rename this object as wrapper underscore AI standard. So in diffuse, click on this checker and go to file and choose filter type to off. Click on this folder and choose wrapper underscore color.tga and click open. So it will be looks like this. So I will click on this isolate select again. So now you're able to see our texture clearly. So now we need to start our lighting. Before that, I want to apply some wood texture for this object. Right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So I already download my wood texture in my desktop. So this is like this. So I will copy this one and go to my destination folder. If you want, you need to download in your just Google it and download this one and paste that wood texture in source images. So after you applying assign new material as AI standard, so this one is the floor underscore AI standard. Click on this diffuse color checker and go to file and choose filter type to off and click on this one and choose that wood texture and click open. So now it's applied perfect. So now we need to start our lighting. Before that, we need to set our camera view. It's really important. Click on the space bar in keyboard. So that means you got 4 viewports. Here I need to set my camera view. So I will click and drag over here. So that means you got only 2 viewports. Go to rendering and click on create cam. It will automatically create it in center of grid. Press R and scale big. Go to panels perspective and choose camera 1. I will set like this. So see here we didn't see any texture. Press 6 in keyboard that means it will show our texture mode. Go to view camera settings and choose overscan. View camera settings and choose resolution gate. So I will zoom in like this. So now click on this lock camera button. So it's new in Maya, so that means you cannot move this viewport. Now I hide my camera in my perspective view. So go to show and uncheck this cameras. So that means it will only shows our camera. So now we start lighting. Okay, go to rendering. Click on area light. It will automatically create it in center of grid. I will scale big and move in Z and also in Y. So I will move on the side and press E and rotate like this. So press W, I will move in Y. So go to Arnold and choose Arnold render view. So in default it will be render our perspective shape. I need to render my camera shape 1. So I will choose my camera shape 1. So when the area light selected, I want to increase my exposure to 5. So it's enough because we need to add an HDRI map. So I will be provide the link in below the description box. Please copy this link and download the HDRI map. It's really important for this project. So after you download, copy this HDRI map and paste in your destination folder. So in this case my D drive in source images. So I need to paste my HDRI map. So after you copy and paste your HDRI map, so I will move my Arnold render view. You need to create an sky dome light. Go to Arnold light and choose sky dome light. So when the sky dome created so select the sky dome. So see here sky dome light and click on this color checker. Go to file and choose filter type to off and click on this image folder and choose your HDRI map and click open. Okay, now see here our dust will be shown very small. So I will select my dust over here. So and press R and scale little bit big. Okay, so now it looks great. I will give roughness to 0 and specular weight to 1 and turn on Fresnel and give 0.150 for our wrapper. And also I need to add some more reflection for this ground plane. Right click and choose material attributes. Here I need to give diffuse weight to 0.5. It's enough. And also give specular weight to 0.2 and roughness to 0.1. Okay, it's render completed. So I will give for this floor specular weight to 0.1 and roughness to 0.1. So now I want to scale very tiny bit for this eraser dust. So I will scale little bit big. Okay, it's render completed. Finally we need to reduce lot of noise over here. So you able to see there is lot of noise in our scene. It will be happened by our sky dome and also area light. So I will shift left mouse button and click and drag to render the specified region. So select my sky dome. So I will select the sky dome light over here and give samples to 6. And also open your window and choose outliner and select the area light and give samples to 6. Okay, now you able to see our noise will be highly reduced when we increase our samples. So I will uncheck this one to render our full region. Okay, it's render completed. Now see here when we increase our sky dome light and area light samples, then render should be nice and clean. So I will preview my final file over here. I hope you like it. I see you on next project. click subscribe button to subscribe our YouTube channel. We always need your support to create high quality content further. So please subscribe. Click here to also watch the tutorial of how to model a complex shape in Maya part 5.